Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science and Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're going to talk about DJI Osmo 360. So let's dive deep into it. Now, what we are talking about here? We are talking about a new entry, basically a new puppy. This puppy is entry from DJI's point of view for 360-degree camera. Now, that market, 360-degree camera market, was huge. By 2015, a lot of companies started to form to make it. There were some Kickstarters also. And by 2020, things started to calm down and became a format and all that. Yeah, and at this point in time, there is only one empire. That is Insta360. And this company rocks when it comes to 360 equipment. Other things you can debate, but when it comes to 360, we do not discuss about this simply because this is the standard. So DJI was like, okay, what if I go into it? Because again, DJI has been expanding. Somebody is in the company that has a very clear-cut goal and very clear determination to expand DJI from what it started to. So it started as a drone, then they expanded to gimbals, then they expanded to action camera, then they expanded to audio equipment. This is the latest portfolio expansion, so to say. So they are going all out, fundamentally speaking. And again, 360 is so hard that GoPro tried it and it went kaput. So fundamentally, it's a very difficult market to get into, especially when you have your experienced daddy, that is Insta360 X5. Now, this puppy is $550 in USA and at the time of filming in India, 45,000 rupees on Amazon. So not that expensive. And the main selling point that differentiates it is that this puppy can do 8K up to 50 FPS in spherical video. Now, let this be very clear. Anything above 4K is almost reaches the point of what we call useless, or mathematical term, point of diminishing return. Because even if you're like, oh, what about 16K and this K? No, unless you are projecting it on a dome in Las Vegas or you're doing a 360 video, 4K is more than enough. That's literally what is scan of basically the film from Oppenheimer, and then it was digitized in 4K. Now, again, let that be clear. The 4K you get in your camera versus 4K that is cinema grade, that is completely different. There is, like, think of this way. All eye is there. In your DSLR, you can do that. In mirrorless, all eye, as in all frames are saved. Now, imagine every frame and no bit compression. Even the bit depth is uncompressed. So fundamentally much different file. That's the highest you're gonna get. So why do we need 8K in this? Because you are expanding it. It's not limited like this. So the moment you limit like this, 4K is more than good enough. The moment you expand it to 360, yeah, 8K is not enough. At this point in time, you might need 12K or 60K. So why don't we do that? Well, data package is not there. Can you build it? Of course, there are VFX rigs that are like, full cinema camera, multiple of them. They have like, giant file, but again, those are only used for supercomputer to render a small portion out of. So we want more as high resolution as possible. Otherwise, the moment you zoom in even a little bit, it will look like a blotchy cell phone footage of 2010. So for that reason, 8K, it might sound like, whoa, it's not that whoa, it's barely 33 megapixel. So fundamentally, having the ability to do 8K full spheroid at 50 FPS, that's good. Like, of course, we would love 60 FPS, but I think the CPU and SoC was like, yeah, bro, calm down. So this is genuinely interesting for this sort of price point, and this is the first launch. That's bold. Now, let's understand what are they offering, that why should you look into it? Well, first, they are utilizing proper square sensor. How could you do that? Most likely there was a portfolio that had a square sensor, because again, you never go, generally, unless you are planning a very large bulk order, you're not gonna basically, hey, can you make a silicon for us? Generally, people don't do that. People like, okay, what is your portfolio? What is your catalog? Be it Sony, be it on semiconductor, be it whatever else. You look into it where it's like what fits us. So they are going for 1:1. And I would be shocked. Let that be very clear. It's not impossible that this company has enough faith in the system that they bulk order like, million of those. It can be done, but like they have a almost pure square sensor. Now, does that matter? Yes, for 360, because generally whenever you're looking at action cam, whenever you're looking at mirrorless, you are generally seeing a non-square sensor. Now, why do we do? It's from carry forward from a film era. Films used to be rectangle. This is a rectangle. But again, 360, it's uncompromising. You want two 360 overlapping each other. So the only way to do that is by having wastage area. So you have wastage. Even though you have silicon there, you can't use it. Because again, 360 projection will always be a circular projection. So they're using this. So that gives them bit bigger sensor and bit better utilization of those sensor. So that means somebody was putting some effort into it. This is not a rush job. This is something somebody sat down. It's like, okay, what can we do given the constraint of the money and the budget? So this is clever. Now, is it actually full 1 inch? Almost. Like from a 360 point of view, yeah, it is there. So it's a bit bigger, better utilization of surface area. That's the key aspect. And it has inbuilt 100 gigs of memory. Now that is very clever because most likely it means the memory that is on board is 128 gigs and the remaining part is partitioned off for the service file, cache file, and operating system and all that jazz, so to say. So that's why you get this weird number, 105 gigabyte. Is like it's 128 gigabyte flash chip, and they have pre-allocation into this, so you get 100 gigabyte of usable storage. Is it awesome? Yes, it shut up take money. Why? Most of the time you're gonna have SD card, but if SD card fills up, which again could happen, very easily happen, these 8K footage files would be heavy, that could happen. And second, you took it out to dump it in your computer like I do with my SD cards, and you forgot. More than enough people have done that. At that point in time, that 100 gigabyte would be shut up take money. So having that is really good. And again, the fact that it did not compromise and this actually have 100 gigs of SD card slot, that's awesome. And they have contact point also. Basically on the bottom of these, there are contact point next to tripod thread, meaning you can power it, meaning they have made a stick that has battery in it. The stick is the power and you do not need wires and all that. That's clever. That basically shows that DJI is a company that is clever, because DJI was the first company that made something like this, and they were like, hey, why not make a hot shoe mount for Sony camera? Why? Because Sony sells a lot and they have digital audio interface. Why not do that? They did that. They're the first one. So it shows that somebody was putting some effort into it, not just copy paste. They are putting some effort into it. So contact point is there. You can have what they call battery extension rod. So that can be done. And they have full mode 10-bit coverage. Let that be very clear. Almost all 360 camera in some mode, in this mode or that mode, can give you 10-bit. This does it in all, meaning just use 10-bit. If you want 10-bit, you have 10-bit. You know, oh, does not match in this system. Oh, I cannot do 8K and 10-bit. It's like, oh, 6K 10-bit will not be there. It's not like that. So it's a full mode 10-bit, which is like somebody put some effort into it. And I'm pretty sure the silicon, as in like the SoC, is good to handle that. D-Log is there, as in its log format. 4K 100 FPS, I'm reasonably sure they could not have pushed more. SoC might have been reaching the upper limit. So 4K 100 FPS, 6K 60 FPS in 360 modes is like, okay. Not that great, but like, okay. Now again, 4K is not enough when you have 360. So that's why people are like, hey, if you're doing 4K at 360, at least give bonkers high FPS so we can justify it. But it's not theirs. And again, they have the stupid thing of like 120 megapixel stills. It's like, nah, bro, nah. That's what we call cocaine. That's not real. So, and when you go into HDMI, that's the 30 megapixel. I'm like, yeah, that's more reasonable. It's like 120 megapixel. It's like, dude, you need a sensor that is literally bigger than full frame. You need what we call phase 1 camera. You need Fuji GXF to have more 100 megapixel where you have actual resolving power. So fundamentally, that was like, lol, we have 100. It's like, no, 30, good, have fun, go home. So there are certain USP, I have to say, like they are putting some effort into it, and it does show clever things, wise things, optimization. Somebody put some effort into it. So what about the performance? Well, performance is reasonable. And again, it shows, given the fact that DJI, they never cheap out day one. It's not like, okay, we made the first camera, it's barely working. Nah, they put some effort. So here the low light performance is bit better than alternatives. Now again, bit better. It's not black and white, because again, it's better optimization, better utilization, rather than like, whoa. So it's not going from APS-C to full frame, like, whoa. It's APS-C to little bit bigger. So, oh, it's almost similar as APS-C of Canon is a bit smaller and Nikon is a bit bigger, or vice versa. But it's something like that. Do not expect like, whoa, it's bit. So dynamic range and all that is like bit better. I would rather have it than not have it, but it's not like, whoa. And image stabilization is really good, which again does show that they have experience with the Osmo series, and it's showing in there. Selfie stick removal is also there, and fast charging, which I really hate that we do not have Nikon, Canon and Sony doing fast charging. And again, I get it. You do not want to fry your battery lifespan. Fast charging when you are doing from 0 to 80% as in constant current mode, you don't have to worry about it. So this puppy can go from 0 to 50% in 12 minutes, meaning you can just plug it in and keep going. Oh, another aspect is the battery is the same as their other action camera, meaning if you had DJI action cameras, kaput, now you have extra batteries. So that's a clever tying together of the whole ecosystem that's there. And my personal favorite, that it has USB 3.0. Now again, USB-C is common everywhere. Cool, awesome, GG, thank you European Union. But this has the actual wiring needed for USB 5 Gbps, which again, you'll be shocked, only few smartphones do that. Like this has it. And again, I'm reasonably sure they've made a decision, because otherwise that 100 gigabyte, if you had to dump into your computer, it will be like, chill bro, we're gonna dump it. We're gonna take our sweet time. So that is a really good thing. But again, it also makes your life easier, meaning the likelihood of you needing to pull out the SD card is low. Now they are claiming they can get up to 600 Mbps. I doubt that. The best case scenario I can think is the micro SD card going full bore should give or take 100 Mbps read write speed. Basically the same speed that you're going to get from a card reader. But again, it does reduce your hassle, does simplify your workflow, which is generally good. And even the Wi-Fi is 90 Mbps, which again, that's the tragic part of reality right now. That these companies, which like very cheap equipment compared to Sony, Nikon and Canon, can give you 90 Mbps, while all these big companies, oh, what do you mean transferring is taking long? It's transferring now, have fun. This is 1970s, you're living in the future. So that's the really interesting part. And it's lighter than Insta360 X5. Now, does that matter if you are mounting it to vehicle or basically your harness and all that? Not really. It matters a lot, like shut up, take money kind of matters if you are using a stick like this all the time. So yeah, depending on your use case, that's a good thing to have, not necessary in most scenarios, but if you are in that scenario where it's like you are using a stick all the time, you're like, shut up, take money. And they do support all DJI microphones, meaning if you have DJI Mic 1, DJI Mic 2, DJI Mini Mic, all of those will work with this, which again, to be expected. So performance is good, like what people are getting out of it in terms of video and all that. Do not expect like, whoa, but expect like, but again, USB 3, really good. So let's understand certain balance aspect of it. Now it does have one very weird issue, which could be game breaking issue depending on where you are live. Somehow they have fogging issue in their lens, and more than one people have replicated it. Actually, many people have replicated it. It's the top story right now on Instagram, is that you can have a scenario where steam comes up and it condenses onto the lens. And why could that happen? Well, most likely the best guess I have is when they are assembling it, it's not being done in a dry environment. Basically, that's the reason why if you ever open a G-Shock, you have to basically almost bake it or pull a vacuum into it so you can attach it again. Otherwise, you will have the same issue. So fundamentally, that's a sloppy execution. I hope, knock on wood, best case scenario is that this is the first batch and they would have worked their ass off to fix it in second batches. But more than enough people are noticing that this is an issue. So you should be aware of that. Another aspect is non-replaceable lens in 2025 is not cool. Why do you need replaceable lens? Because this is not a flat lens. Because of the geometry, you will always have a dome. The moment you have a dome, no matter how it falls, it will always fall on the lens. It will get scratched, it will crack, no matter what you do. The only alternative would be to use sapphire crystal. Now, then why don't they do that? Well, they could do that, you just won't be able to afford it. To give you a context how expensive sapphire crystal is, Apple tried it, could not afford it for their watch faces. It's expensive, like quality one. You can have like a mix one, low grade one, amorphous and all that. Single crystal, whew, it can be done, it can be built, it's just that whew, expensive. So what's the next best solution? Next best solution is designed in such a way that it can be replaced, user replaced. So not having that on a domed glass is like, not smart. And you're like, okay, but you can replace it. Yeah, transporting something versus if you are a rough and tough user, you can just have like, one or two spare lenses. Like, yeah, generally camera bag generally have lenses. What is the reason for that? If you kaput your lens, you can just swap the lens. Better capture something than nothing. So not having that in 2025, which again is like, because again, you might go, oh, but it's cheaper. Yeah, it does not matter if you have a cracked glass. and you're like, okay, either I had to pay for that insurance or be in that early bird pricing where they are giving you at least 2 replacement free, all those jazz. Yeah, it's not that smart. Another aspect is, which is weird, is that they can't record one longer clip, meaning if you record it and like, okay, I'm gonna record a 1 hour clip, it won't be 1 hour clip. It will be literally like how Red used to have basically 4 gigabytes of file size, which is FAT32 limitation. And I'm like, this is 2025. Why do you have FAT32? Like, we don't even have SD card. If you buy micro SD card right now from market, all of them are flashed to XFAT. XFAT does not have that 4 gigabyte limitation. So what the hell? DJI, what the hell? Like, genuinely, what the hell? Why everybody is showing it? The rest of the video recording is based on the frame rate. It's like 13-minute clips or is 18-minute clips. That's all you're getting. That's what I get on my dash cam. And again, my dash cam is based on 10 minutes. So this is like weird. Not a very big issue, but it's like weird. So at this point in time, it's not a clean cut win over Insta360, even though the only thing you can say, it's a bit cheaper and does have a bit higher resolution, but not like, whoa, it's like very mild. So I would say it's a good Mark 1 attempt, like better than nothing, and they could have messed it up very royally, but they did not. So it's better. But in most scenario, unless you need that a very exact safe amount of money, it's not recommended. And the only other scenario where this will make sense is that if you're already in DJI ecosystem, meaning you have DJI microphones, you have DJI action cameras, where you can utilize the battery into this. Other than that, it's not that useful, so to say. So I do look forward to their Mark II, but let's see. I'm really not happy with the fact that A, they messed up this badly, B, the fact that glass is non-replaceable. So this was my presentation on basically DJI Osmo 360. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me your disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.